Ooh, that looks nasty. Hello, frenemas, it's me, Dr. Jake, and today we are going to a pineapple under the sea. Arr, join me, matey. When you crush your muscle tissue, a molecule called myoglobin is released from your muscle, and that can cause pretty severe kidney failure. So in the case of a huge crush injury, you really need to go to the hospital immediately. Oh! Squidward! No, that looks really painful. In the case of a choking injury, you have about 2 minutes to act, because if you don't act in that amount of time, the brain tissue will die from lack of oxygen, and you can have permanent brain injury.
I know what to do, but I should wash my hands first.
No! Do not wash your hands if someone is choking. Just give them the Heimlich maneuver right away. And if you can't reach all the way around them, you can push their stomach on something hard, like a chair. What is he gonna do? Oh no! No, don't blow in someone's mouth if there's something caught in their throat. If your larynx is obstructed, you're gonna end up just blowing air into their stomach.
Here's a little something you may remember from the good old days.
Oh, those crusties. Patients always come in and think they have conjunctivitis. They don't have conjunctivitis, they just have crusties.
Open up! It's time for the pill!
You are getting way too much of whatever vitamin is in that pill. I consider a lot of these vitamin places to be a scam. Unless you have a known deficiency of a vitamin, you don't need to be taking a ton of vitamins. The only exception is vitamin D, which pretty much everyone is deficient in now, because we don't get enough sunlight.
I hate the pill.
Ooh, I think that would have ruptured his esophagus.
This is the happiest day of my life!
What happened?
Sandy, what happened?
You ran inside and slipped out an ice cube.
That sounds like an OSHA violation, but Spongebob is a sponge. I imagine he'd just bounce.
I slipped on an ice cube and got covered in boo-boos.
Boo-boos, eh? I think you guys want that hospital.
So that does happen. If you have a trauma and you have a hospital that's not a trauma center, they need to transfer you to a trauma center. The reason for that, though, is that trauma centers have specialized surgical staff. For example, if you have a brain bleed, they have a neurosurgeon on staff. If you have a splenic laceration, they have a trauma surgeon on staff who can take out your spleen if necessary. Oh no. Oh no. Squidward! No! It didn't have gasoline in it. How did it explode? Also, it's underwater.
I know you're eager, but
Oh,
you
God.
don't even have your neck.
That looks like he has
Fix
full
him up
body
one time
surface
with a good
area
specimen.
burns.
Firmly grasp it in your hand.
I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think he can grasp anything.
Firmly grasp it!
Oh,
That'll do it.
that definitely did more damage to his hand. Hey, that actually had gasoline in it, so that should explode. Squidward gets into so many accidents in this show. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.
Your friend is very lucky. If it wasn't for that slide whistle getting lodged in his
Oh.
throat, the rescue team might have never found him.
Yeah. And it looks like the slide whistle is acting as a tracheostomy. A tracheostomy is just a hole that you put in the neck in an emergency so that people can breathe.
Will Mr. Krabs be all right?
Mr. Krabs is in a cash coma. Only the return of his money
coma?
can save his life.
But if you're in a coma, you're unconscious, so you literally wouldn't know if someone is returning your money to you.
Oh no, this is horrible. This man has no insurance.
You'll never be able to afford this
That's
room.
America.
You're right, nurse.
But fortunately, we have EMTALA, which states that you can't just boot people to the curb if they can't pay. You have to treat them.
We have to surgically remove him from out in front of the candy machine
no.
so I can get to the Nutty Nut
Surgically,
bar, of
though.
course.
Nurse!
I'm on it.
And you can't do that either. However, if somebody doesn't require medical care anymore, we can discharge them.
It has come to my attention that your patient, Mr. Krabs, is out on the front sidewalk. We're trying to run a business here. We can't leave patients on the sidewalk.
Yeah, you
Not
can't
to
leave
worry.
patients on the sidewalk.
Nurse!
I'm on it.
Well, she's gonna bring him back in, right? Even in the United States, where healthcare sucks, you can't do that. Ooh. Animal bites can give you some pretty bad stuff. He's gonna need some prophylactic antibiotics.
Did someone say
Mad snail disease? Is that what all this fuss is about?
I assume mad snail disease is related to mad cow disease. Mad cow disease is a disease that you get from eating cow meat that has prions in it. Those are misfolded proteins.
If you say fold in one more time.
It says fold it in.
And it causes progressive dementia. However, you can't get it from the cow biting you, like Gary did to Spongebob. Ooh, that looks nasty.
But don't you worry, buddy. We're gonna make it
Oh
go
no.
away.
No, oh no. Oh no, just pull it out. Why doesn't it just pull out the splinter? That is so
Appears to
stupid.
be a little bit of swelling. This garbage compress
Oh, I'm gonna
should help
vomit.
that go down.
Oh, that's so disgusting. If you get a splinter, try to pull out the splinter. Don't chisel it in, and don't clean it off with garbage. That's a great way to get an infection. Yeah, just pull it out. Yeah.
Problems happen.
Abscesses are pus-filled cavities that can form in any part of your body. The nice thing about getting an abscess, though, is that once it's drained, once you have source control of the infection, you don't need any antibiotics. But they often have these nasty capsules that you have to tear apart, usually with a pair of forceps.
Then the doctor pulls out his stethoscope.
No!
Yes! It's a device so sinister, so icy cold.
Who's gonna invent stethoscope warmers? That's what we actually need. If you can warm up the stethoscope, everything's fine.
It seems you have the suds. You get the sponge treatment.
Oh.
Hung.
Are they just gonna squeeze them? Of course, use a sponge so they squeeze them. Why would they not? Oh.
I can smell it.
On people's feet, though? If you're curing this disease by rubbing him on people's feet, he's probably gonna get a fungal infection.
Hey, Doc. I got the suds too.
Patrick is malingering. That's pretending that you have an illness when you're perfectly fine for secondary gain. Doctors will eventually figure out that you're not sick, and a lot of the treatments that we provide to people who are sick can have serious side effects.
We have a special treatment for you.
I don't think this is gonna go well. Yeah, he's not a sponge. Oh, there is no disease that you will cure by rubbing yourself against a cactus.
We got a sinker!
Most drowning is actually silent, so I don't envy a lifeguard's job. If they look away for 1 second, someone could literally die.
Breathe, darn you!
Oh no! So if somebody has a solid obstruction in their throat, you do want to do the Heimlich maneuver, which is a less violent version of what this lobster is doing here. And also, it doesn't look like this guy is breathing, so he's gonna need rescue breaths, and he should probably check a pulse to make sure he doesn't need CPR too.
This young boy saved your life. He performed CPR for 5 hours straight.
Yeah, they said you'd be okay after the first few minutes, but I just wanted to be sure.
If somebody doesn't need CPR, don't do it. You literally break ribs when you do CPR. Check a pulse. If they have a pulse, you don't need to do CPR. And when you're doing CPR, you want to check a pulse every 2 minutes to make sure that your patient hasn't recovered and doesn't need any more CPR.
Land on your bottom! It'll cushion the impact of the fall!
Like this?
No, your other bottom.
If you're falling that fast, it doesn't matter what part of your body you land on, you're gonna have severe injuries and, probably your neck will snap when you hit the ground.
It's really quite amazing. It took 20 hours to put it all back together. We actually ran out of staples and had to use a glue stick.
Glue and staples would definitely not hold a muscle together.
One more injury like that, and you could wind up like that poor creature there in the iron butt.
The iron lung was a machine that we used to replace the lungs before we had lung transplant, but I can't think of any reason for an iron butt. I imagine it'd be really hard to wipe.
See?
Oh.
Good enough to eat. Oh, look.
Oh, the ambulance comes even before he eats it.
Now then.
Oh, that was really quick. So I'm guessing that it had Staph aureus in it. Staph aureus creates a toxin before you eat the food, so therefore you get foodborne illness within 2 to 4 hours after eating something. However, the most common bacteria we see in meat is actually E. coli, and that will usually take 12 to 24 hours to cause illness.
Your bill, sir.
$15,000.
That does sound like a hospital. Everything's marked up because of administrative fees. Like a box of tissue costs like $30 in a hospital.
I'm afraid you've had a serious accident. It seems that when you crashed, you ruptured your inflation sac.
Oh, it's like she has a pneumothorax.
I guess we'll have to call you Mrs. Pop.
I think this is not the right time for jokes.
Jokes? I love jokes.
Why can't you just graduate out of my life?
Oh, she got sedated.
I think she looks better this way, as I always tell you to do.
We do sedate patients a fair amount if they are violent, but you don't want to sedate someone who's not violent and not your patient. That's a malpractice lawsuit.
I see you got the flowers I sent.
Yes, I'm allergic to them.
That's why a lot of hospitals don't allow flowers, because allergies can make any medical illness worse.
You need sunlight.
But you're not going to be more allergic to flowers because it's sunny. That's not a thing. If there's another episode of Spongebob you want me to watch, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Arr, join me. Arr, join me.